Imagine it, the raw, uncompromising power of the PlayStation 5, but in a device that actually fits in your hands. We're not talking about streaming, we're not talking about lag, just pure native gaming on the go. For years, this has been the ultimate dream for PlayStation fans, a true successor to the legendary PSP and the beloved, if underrated, PS Vita. After years of total silence on the handheld front, that dream might be closer than we think. Major industry sources say Sony is in the early stages of making this happen, and the evidence could point to a move that could completely shake up the portable gaming world. But there's a catch, and it has everything to do with power, competition, and of course, price. Let's be real, Sony is technically already back in the handheld game, sort of. The PlayStation Portal, which landed in late 2023, has been a shocking success for them, selling way better than anyone expected. It proved one thing loud and clear. People are starving for a portable PlayStation experience. The device itself is an ergonomic masterpiece, basically a DualSense controller torn in half with a gorgeous 8-inch screen slapped in the middle. It feels fantastic to hold, and for what it's designed to do, it does it really well. But that's the whole point. What it's designed to do. The Portal isn't a console, it's a window. It's a streaming only accessory that mirrors your PS5 over Wi Fi. No PS5, no Portal. Spotty Wi Fi, spotty experience. No internet, no gaming, period. When the Portal was first revealed, you can almost hear the collective sigh of fans who wanted a real standalone successor to the PlayStation Vita. Looking back though, the Portal seems less like a final answer and more like a brilliant Trojan horse. While some have speculated it was originally meant to be a standalone device, there's no evidence for that. What we know for sure is that Sony got to test the modern handheld market, prove the form factor actually works, and gets data on how we play on those devices without all the massive financial gamble of launching a full blown console. It was a test, and based on the whispers we're hearing, now it looks like Sony thinks the test was an astounding success and they're already ready for the real thing. This isn't just fan wish casting anymore. The rumor mill has gone into overdrive and credible sources are fanning the flames. In late 2024, Bloomberg reported that Sony was in the early stages of developing a new portable console that could play PS5 games natively. This means that all the processing, the graphics, the entire game happens right there on the device. No cloud, no streaming, just pure local power. However, since that report, things have gone quiet, and as of early 2026, Sony hasn't said a single word, leaving out the project's current status as a mystery. Still, the initial port was corroborated by other respected outlets and insiders like the tech analyst at Digital Foundry, who confirmed they had heard similar whispers from their own sources. The general feeling is that while the device is likely years away and Sony could always pull the plug, the project was at least at one point very real. You can see why they'd try. Sony wants to compete head on with Nintendo for the handheld crown, a market that has exploded thanks to the Switch, and they aren't the only ones. Xbox's own Phil Spencer openly confirmed back in 2024 that they are working on a handheld prototype. While rumors of 2027 releases or specific partnerships remain unsubstantiated in 2026, the intent is clear. The battle lines for the next generation of portable gaming are being drawn, and Sony doesn't seem to want to be left out. So, what would a native PS5 portable even look like? The heart of the machine and the biggest question mark is the custom chip that would power it. And this is where the leaks get really interesting, but also where you need a huge grain of salt. Well known leakers have pointed to a deep partnership with AMD for a custom chipset, and the wildest rumors claim it could use a processor based AMD Future Zen 6 CPU and RDNA 5 GPU architecture, but right now these are just code names for unreleased tech and it's all unverified. These rumors suggest a chip built on a tiny 3 nanometer process, which would be essential for balancing performance with heat and battery life in a small device. So, what does this all mean for performance? Again, this is highly speculative, but the rumored goal is incredibly ambitious. Some leakers have suggested performance could land somewhere between Xbox Series S and a PS5. That would be a huge achievement for a portable handheld device, but physical constraints make matching a full-size console almost impossible. And the more optimistic rumors claim that even with fewer processing units than a Series S, its more advanced architecture could give it an edge in modern techniques like ray tracing. But let's be realistic, the goal probably isn't running God of War Ragnarok at 4K 60 FPS. It's more likely about delivering a 1080p or 1440p experience using advanced upscaling like Sony's PSSR to keep the image sharp, and you have to imagine they'd stick with the Portal's form factor because it just works for them. It's hard to see them abandoning those praised ergonomics and the signature DualSense features like haptic feedback and adaptive triggers. A powerful handheld is just a paperweight without games. This is where a native PlayStation Portable would have a killer advantage. Entire PS4 and PS5 library would be able to work on it, and the most exciting, though also most optimistic rumor is that the device might have shader binary compatibility, and that's just a fancy way of saying it could run existing games right out of the box with no patch needed from developers whatsoever. Realistically speaking, that might be wishful thinking. But true backwards compatibility would almost certainly require developers to release optimization patches to scale down resolution and performance targets for the handheld. Think about how PS4 games run on a PS5. They work, but they run so much better with a proper next gen patch. And even so, this strategy would give the console an instant library of thousands of incredible games on day one. It completely dodges the launch window drought that kills so many new consoles. And just imagine your entire digital library like the PS4 and PS5 games, the one you've spent years and hundreds of dollars on, ready to go on a high performance handheld from the second you turn it on. Now that's a sales pitch. Sony wouldn't be launching this in a vacuum. The handheld market is hotter than ever. Nintendo is still the undisputed king, and its Switch successors still have a huge lead that start with iconic franchises like Mario and Zelda that Sony just can't compete with. Sony can't win by being Nintendo. It has to win by being PlayStation, by delivering those high fidelity blockbuster games. Then you've got the PC handhelds like the Steam Deck, Asus ROG Ally, and others. They just offer an open system with access to multiple stores and a gigantic PC library. Sony's device would almost certainly be a closed, curated walled garden, just like its consoles. You'd be trading the openness and flexibility of a PC for the simplicity and optimization of a console. And like we mentioned before, Microsoft is plotting something. Whether it's a branded PC handheld or a true first party Xbox portable console, they're not sitting still. A future where you can choose between a portable Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation is looking more and more real day by day. This all sounds amazing, but it boils down to two huge questions: when could we get it? And what would it cost? On the release date, the original reports pointed to something years away. Based on typical development cycles, a realistic guess would be somewhere between 2027 and 2028. This could position it as a late cycle PS5 companion, or more interestingly, a launch partner for the eventual PlayStation 6, creating an unified ecosystem from day one. And now for the catch: the price. All of this cutting edge tech in a small package will not be cheap. The PlayStation Vita was $250 over a decade ago, and the Portal is a $200 streaming accessory. High end PC handhelds in 2026 can already cost over $800. And for Sony to deliver a custom next gen AMD chip that could natively play PS5 games, the price will have to be significant. A price tag between 500 and 700 is plausible. If painful, I guess, that's a tough sell for a second gaming device, and it will be Sony's biggest hurdle convincing us that a true no compromise portable PlayStation is even worth it. But the evidence is mounting, and it all points in one direction. After years of waiting, Sony is gearing up for a big return to the handheld market. The Portal's success proved the demand is there, and credible reports confirmed that at least at one point, development was underway. We could be looking at a powerhouse that brings the entire PS5 library to the palm of your hand, a device that could redefine portable gaming forever. But the big question remains, can Sony actually deliver that performance while keeping the battery from dying in an hour? Can it survive in a market with titans like the Nintendo and the flexible PC handhelds? And most importantly, can they sell it at a price people will actually pay? Only time will tell. But for the first time in a long time, the dream of a true PlayStation Portable successor feels incredibly real. So I have to ask you, what is the absolute max you'd pay for a real native PlayStation 5 portable? And what's one killer feature it has to have for you to buy it? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you want to stay on top of every twist and every turn in this story, make sure you click that subscribe bell. And thank you for watching.